Disclaimer, none of my videos in any way signify this is what you have to do, should do, or could really even be a good idea. We just show what we do and how we do it. And if you want to do it our way, that's fine. If you don't, nothing implies that you have to or it's even the right way to do it. So on that, let's hit that intro. Today's project. I must be confusing you guys because now the Toro's back in here and the walker's back in the trailer. So the walker's done. It's ready to go for the season. There's nothing more I need to do to it. Knock on wood. I gotta find wood in here somewhere. Knock on wood somewhere. Anyway, it's good to go for the season, or so I believe. At this point, it's ready to go. But now the Toro's back in here. This entire mower needs greased. There's plenty of grease fittings on this mower, and I just have never gotten to that point yet. I do need to take the blades off of here, and the short tail high lifts that I told you I like to run, especially in the spring in my area, they're the best blade on any deck as far as I'm concerned. I haven't ordered a set for this because they're the exact same blades that are on the Wright. And when I sell that Wright, I'm going to put the stock blades that are like brand new back on it, and that's how I'm selling it. I'm not selling it with those blades on there. I'm going to use them on this one anyway, and they, you know, they went through half a season for as much as I mowed with that mower, so they're still practically brand new too. So I'll be taking them back off there, which I haven't done yet, sharpening them up and putting them on here. And these blades that are on here are like a mulching gator blade. They're chewed to hell and back. They're junk. So I'm going to take them off and just throw them away. And so I need to put those on here. I still need to grease this entire mower. But the belts that are on there are in decent shape. They're not great, but they're not really bad. So we're just going to change them. Whole new deck belt and a whole new drive belt. There is another belt on here. I haven't gotten that one yet. This one here, deck belt, obviously runs all the spindles, runs the deck. This one here runs, it runs around the bottom of the engine, around the PTO and background. Actually, you know what? There isn't another belt here. What am I thinking? There isn't another belt. It's just these two belts. So this one runs off the bottom of the engine and runs to the PTO and the pulleys. This belt here will go around the bottom section of the PTO and run up to the deck and then go around all the spindles. So I'm going to put two brand new belts on it. The belts that are on there right now, unless I pull them off and I find out they are complete shit, I will keep them as backups because they're, you know, they work just fine on there right now. And if there's not any serious chunks or anything taken out of them, they're not frayed, and you know, they're just a little worn down, then I'll keep them as backups. But other than that, we're going to get the new belts put on here, and I'm going to get this entire thing greased, and that's the project for today. So here we are. This belt here definitely has some pretty decent cracks in it right there. So this belt right here that goes up to the PTO right there, this one definitely needs change. That's the smaller one of the two. I can stretch it pretty easily. And then this one here is the one, like I can pull it and pull it right off there. So I might have to check the tension on the front of that too, just to see if the tension is set right on that. Because like I said, I can grab that whole belt and pull it. I know on the X mark I had to put a wrench in one of the pulleys and then bend it back, and then I could change out the belt. But this one here seems like I don't need to do that at all. Like I can probably even bend this one. I can bend that enough to pull the tension off of that too. So I'll have to check those out and see. Okay, well, this is the mechanism that just hooks up into the deck there, comes right out with the spring, and I didn't really have to do nothing. I pulled this pulley over by hand and I popped the belt off, and it just come down off the top of the PTO right through here and pulled the belt right out. This one here is the one from the deck. All I did was pulled it back, pulled it off the pulley, and right out. So these are nice and simple to change. So I'm gonna get the other one and throw it on here real quick. I think the easiest way would be to feed it through there, get it up around the PTO first, and then bring it through here and hook the spring back on. So as you can see, this new belt is on there. Sorry I didn't film it, but I mean, it's kind of hard to get in here. There's not a whole heck of a lot of space in here, and I got to get my arms up in there, and you got to hold this pulley over and then stretch this, you know, the belt around the one side of the other pulley to get it up in there. But it's very simple. There's really nothing to it. It's just, you know, just a little finagling and you can get it up in there. It's not that big a deal at all. But now that one's in there, and to do the one on the deck, I think it'd be easiest to pull the covers off the sides, get it routed around the deck, and then push it through here, and then come onto here and put it over top of this pulley. Okay, so the belt I took off the deck really isn't that bad, but you can see right there, there's a sticker on there that shows the diagram of the belt, so you don't put it on the wrong way. And it also says, I know you guys can't really see, but right down here it gives, if I can get you guys in there, right down here it gives the exact measurements. It says belt tension adjustment 5.75 inches hook to hook stretched spring length. So you should have 5.75 inches from hook to hook when the spring is stretched. So the hook is back there. It's right down there. So once you get the belt on there and you get it on there, you get the belt on there, then you just measure that. I know you guys can't really see. You just measure that and you make sure that you have that length. If you have any more than that, then you're probably stretched way too much. Or if you don't have enough, then it's not tight enough. Okay, my suggestion, get one of these tape measures. They come in handy all the time. They just fold out. They're easier to get into places without it bending, so that you get an accurate measurement. You could just use a regular old tape measure like those, but what I did was I fed the belt through there, made sure it was on around all the pulleys, just like the diagram shows, and then that spring down there, let me get a flashlight. That spring right there, which is right there, is the spring they're talking about. And you measure from, it has a loop where it hooks in that end and one in this end. You measure from the inside of the loop on both ends. And there it is right there. And what I did is I stuck that tape measure right in through the side here and measured inside to inside, and it's exactly 5 3/4 of an inch, which is what the diagram shows. So that belt, even though it feels loose to me and I can pull on it easily, that's exactly where it's supposed to be as per manufacturer specs. So this is set where it needs to be. Now my guess, if you want to adjust it, you'll see right there there's a nut and then there's a groove in there. You can loosen that and you can slide this whole arm here left or right wherever you need to make it tighter. That's the only adjustment that I see on here, so that would be where you adjust it if yours isn't right. So once I got that all in there, I just reached under here, pulled it through, put it around that pulley. You can only get it halfway on, but then I just kept grabbing the pulley and turning it, and the belt worked its way on all the way around, and then I heard it snap, snapped right on. When it rains, it pours. Oh my goodness gracious. Not that this is that big of a deal, and I don't blame the guy who bought it off of it all, because I'm guessing he didn't have a clue, because unless you're really looking for stuff, which judging by the maintenance that he did or didn't do on this thing, because you could tell by a machine, especially if you've been working on these long enough, you could tell when people are feeding you a line of shit that's thicker than a barnyard full of cows, whether or not they really did maintenance or not. And clearly this guy did not keep up on maintenance on this equipment, and if he was paying somebody to do it, they screwed him bad, because a lot of stuff hasn't been done. But either way, that's neither here or there. So I just found something, and it's not a big deal. I can fix it, but I just found something I wasn't expecting. So back up underneath here we are. These are the mounts that come down. They bolt on right there. where the back of the deck bolts on to the main framing of the mower. And, you know, they come down, they make an L. If I can get you some good light in there. They come down and they make an L and they bolt on right there. Well, see if I can get this on camera for you guys. You see that? That's a crack. It goes all the way up. It comes about halfway down, from the top about halfway down, and the steel is cracked. I don't know if I can get you this on camera. If I go like this behind, you can kind of see the light coming through there. This one over here is the exact same way. It's cracked about halfway down on the other side. So, not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. It's nothing I can't get in there and weld. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to unbolt it. I'm going to leave it where it's at because I want it to stay where it's at. But I will get in here and I will clean the paint off there to clean that up. And I will run a bead of weld right down that side. See? And many of you guys thought that I bought this thing for a winter project and completed it in a week. Well, the more you look, the more you shall find. And I knew that I would, you know, I haven't gone over this thing with a fine-tooth comb yet. I've just fixed all the stuff that was real noticeable, all the stuff I knew I needed to get to. No big deal. But, you know, so I knew that I would find more stuff as I go along. And I will go over every inch of this frame now that I have to do that, because while I have the welder out, might as well take care of anything that needs it. But I briefly looked over everything, so as far as I know, that's all it needs. I don't think there were really any other spots, but who knows, I could find other stuff. But like I said, that's no big deal. I'll clean it up, I'll weld it, run a bead down each side of those, and they'll be perfectly fine. The welder's literally 2.5 feet away from this mower, so take nothing to do. I'll pull the wheels off so they're not in my way. I get plenty of light in there, and I can get under there and just run a bead straight down. Super simple. The good news is this belt that I took off the deck, once I got it off there, I realized it might be stretched a little bit, because when they are stretched, you can't really tell. It could be off by like 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and it'll just give you a little slop. But it is not frayed at all. It is not even chipped. It's not nothing, no cracks in it. So I'm going to guess it's relatively new. So it has been replaced. He probably replaced it at some point this past season, because he did run this thing right up till fall till I bought it. So this belt is in really good shape. So we will definitely be hanging on to this one as a backup. But there are 2 brand new belts in there now. If I'm going to start the season off with everything I've already done to it, I might as well start off with brand new belts as well. So just one more part to that, and I will leave that as it for today's video. And what I will do is tomorrow I'll make a video of me welding this frame back together. It's pretty straightforward. I guess anybody could figure that out, but I think it'll be a pretty neat video. So I will that'll be tomorrow's video.